Hello, I'm James Barth from Rock Hard 4x4. Now, we've been in the earlier Bronco business and primarily in the Jeep industry for many years. And with the new addition of the Ford Bronco in our lineup as far as parts and components, I want to show you our front bumper that we offer for this vehicle. Now, all of our bumpers are made here in the United States at our own factory here in the state of Nebraska, which is where we primarily do all of the in-house building. We don't sub anything out. We bend, we cut, we laser cut everything, we CNC machine everything, we powder coat, we weld. Everything is done in-house. We have a great crew that's been with us for many years, and we're grateful to have them to make it part of us as a business, as a family, to bring this parts to the market for the Ford Bronco owners. This particular bumper that we offer is made of 1/4 inch thick material, not 3/16, not 1/8 inch, but 1/4 inch material, all formed in CNC computerized equipment so that we get exact matches each time. They have 1-inch D-rings that go through the bumper and are welded both sides. These are for your clevises. This takes a 3/4 inch clevis for your recovery points. The end caps down here with the branding of the RH-4X4 are available for factory fog lights, but also cubes and or the block off with standard logo that they come with. This is an optional winch tray. This winch tray is made of 1/4 inch material, accepts most and all the standard Warren and other design winches. The VR series or the Evo series fits really nice in this setup. This light hoop up on the mount on the top has a couple different functions. One is it's designed to take a 10-inch light with a 10.5 inch spread pattern on the mounting. It also relocates your factory camera. And that's one of the big things with these Ford Broncos is understanding all the electronics. So not only have we relocated the camera, but we've went ahead and left the cruise control set, which is for your adaptive cruise, and all your auto stop sensors in the bumper. And we haven't changed where that mounts at factory because you have different oil coolers and all types of other things. We've left the radar sensor where it's designed to be on the vehicle, and it doesn't intrude with any of the parts that we've made here. So everything works great with all your electronics and all your sensors. Now, some of you have asked about the parking sensors. We have the 4 parking sensors just like it did originally. Now, when we put our winch tray on, we also relocate those. That comes with the electrical to do so, and you'll see in the instructions of how all that works. The other thing that we do really well in this industry is we do a lot for towing. We set up many vehicles a day just for towing behind motorhomes and such. We have different bracketry that bolt on to lower down here. And you can see these are well built. These are made out of 1/2 inch plates and 3/8 here on the tabs. This particular one happens to be for a blue ox. These are going to mount just on the lower 3 mounting bolts on each side. This makes it so you can tow your vehicle. So whether you're towing with a blue ox, a Reese, a Demco, a Roadmaster, whatever you're looking to use, whatever it is, we pretty much have majority of the brackets available for them. We've been a leader in this industry for towing, and we'll continue that along with into the Bronco market now. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install this particular bumper. I want to address one thing about the differences between the plastic and your steel bumpers on factory Broncos. What you want to work with our particular Bronco front bumper is the skid plate that goes straight across, or in this styling. If you do have the other skid plate that comes up on each side, then we offer an actual replacement for this shield here. Now we're going to go ahead and start off with a T40 and go ahead and remove these mounting bolts here and these plastic plugs so that we can get to the mounting locations of your factory front bumper. Once you remove this plastic shield, these are going to be the mounting bolts to hold your front bumper on your vehicle. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the other side outer plastic with the clips and the bolts, and then we'll go ahead and unclip the wiring and remove the 3 bolts on each side. Go ahead and find on the driver's side this electrical here. There's a push piece that you push in on, and that will release the wire to come down. We're going to use a 15mm socket and remove the 3 bolts on each side. This is the mounting place for the brackets here and the bumper. So remember that when you take this off, it has a tendency to fall forward. So what we'll do is we'll bring them loose, but we'll leave 1 bolt just barely in. Now we'll repeat the process on the other side. Now we'll go ahead and remove the rest of the bolts and lower the bumper down. Now with the bolts out, let's go ahead and remove the bumper off of the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and take a 13mm socket. What we're doing is we're taking the electrical out of the bumper. Now we're going to mark the sensors in a particular order, so before you pull them, watch what we do here in the video. Now, when you're looking at the electrical here, there's two connections down here. This is if you have a factory fog light system. Other than that, you're going to remove the rest of the electrical and the bracing here so that we can get to the rest of the sensors. We're literally disassembling this bumper to get the electrical out. Now that we've basically removed every bolt in the inside of this bumper to release all the inner bracketry to access the wiring, we're going to use a plug remover and go ahead and pull the electrical out of this bumper. Now, one thing to keep in mind is I do not want you removing your sensors yet. With these factory parking sensors, what we want to do is we want to put them back in the same orientation of which they were. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark this as number 1, and we're going to put an arrow going up. Okay, and we'll do the same with all of them. This is going to be number 2 with an arrow going up, number 3, and number 4. That way when we install the electrical into the rock hard 4x4 bumper, we get the alignment correct. Now, because we provide you with new sensor holders, you're just going to simply remove the sensor from the holder. Push in from the outside, push this out as you pry it on each side. Now go ahead and remove all the electrical. And go ahead and get rid of your factory bumper. Bring up the rock hard 4x4 bumper and let's go ahead and install the electrical. Now we're going to talk about installation of the sensors. Now it doesn't matter if you start at 1, 2, 3, or 4. We're just here to show you. The sensor goes into the holder like this. Now, this sensor piece goes from the front side. So if it's going to go like this with the up arrow and number 4, we're going to go ahead around the face of the bumper. We're going to go ahead and push the rock hard 4x4 piece in place. Next, we're going to go ahead and take this clip. There's 2 different thicknesses of clip. On the rock hard 4x4 bumpers, we use the thinner ones. Those clip in place, that holds the sensor in place. Now, clip your sensor in, just like this. Now on the Ford Bronco, there's a couple different styles, or I should say diameters, of these rubber gaskets that go around here. Included in your kit, if yours are too big, are these black ones that just go right on here. Go ahead and change them out if needed, because this is going to change. You want it so that it goes down in the sensor holder, so that when you pop this sensor in from the back, that it fits tightly in there. Go ahead and repeat the process with all 4 sensors. Now we're going to go ahead and zip tie the wiring into the back of the rock hard 4x4 bumper with the supplied tabs that are welded into the bumper. We'll repeat the process in all 3 locations. Make sure when you're finished that you route the wiring over to the driver's side so we can plug it in back into the factory wiring harness. Some customers have asked of why we weld this square tube on here. This tube is only for alignment purposes. Without it, it makes it really tough for one person to do the install. This makes it so you can set the bumper right on the end of the frame in here, which will hold it in place while you go ahead and line the bolts up. Now we're going to go ahead and take the bumper and set it on the end of the frame. You'll notice in your hardware kit this bracket. It has the spacers designed to space the bumper away from the end of the frame a little bit. So you're going to go ahead and slip these in place on the back side, take the supplied bolt and washer, and you go ahead and install it. This threads into the factory mounts into the frame. One thing to keep in mind, the nut plate on the back of the frame does move a little bit as it is not securely held in place. It's sitting in there similar to our spacers, but when it's tightened down, everything sandwiches together. You'll notice that our bumper is slotted a little bit on each side, allowing to adjust from left to right so that you can line it up with your body lines to make sure everything is symmetrical. Now that we've started these bolts, we're going to go ahead and finish up and do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and start tightening these bolts down using a 5/16 Allen wrench. Don't forget to reconnect your sensor harness wiring. Now we're going to go ahead and install the Rockhard 4x4 emblems on each side. These are going to be held in with the button head screws and the locking nuts. Now, these are also available on our website that take a cube light and or other styles. You'll tighten these down using a 5/32 Allen and a 7/16 wrench.